Alright, what is going on, guys? Just gonna go over props and my bets for UFC Vegas 43 real quick. Got a little conservative with it this week. Probably wagered about half of what I did last week because there's a couple betting spots I really like in this card. And then there's others ones I like, but it's like 50-50. And I'm probably just gonna play it by ear, see how the night goes. But off the bat, I do like Adrian Yanez by KO for a multitude of reasons. Yeah, it doesn't have plus odds, but I like it. I know people are giving Davy Grant his props, which makes sense, but I just think that there's a bunch of factors that are contributing to the knockout here. He looked pretty slow towards the end of that last fight. He's going to be 36 in December. He has good cardio, but I'm just saying, it's like he's 36 at bantamweight. It's tough. Uh, and he's been dropped by Martin Day. He's been dropped by Jonathan Martinez. Granted, he keeps his hands down and has very dynamic striking or very unpredictable striking, I should say. So he can definitely get clipped. Adrian Yanez was getting hit a lot in the Randy Costa fight, and Grant is probably going to hit him with more power. But at the end of the day, I just like Yanez's ability to weather the storm and get that knockout. And then Terrence McKinney inside the distance at plus 120. I like a lot. I do like Terrence McKinney by knockout. I did bet that, but with inside the distance, you can protect yourself from the submission. He does have decent wrestling game. It's just kind of been forgotten about because he keeps knocking people out in under a minute. But he used to wrestle a lot more. He got flying knee by Sean Woodson after he kind of went for an ill-advised takedown, was kind of telegraphed, and then he got subbed by Derek Minner in the first round. And since then, he hasn't really been going to his wrestling as much, but he does have it, so you can protect yourself from that still with plus odds. But I do think he's going to get the knockout, and at plus 200, that has great value. And then so for these ones, riskier but decent value on them. We might get 104, we might get 204. I don't expect all four to hit. I didn't bet all four, but I just figured I'd give analysis on them. So Natan Levy to win in round three or by decision. I like this because Garcia's gas tank worries me, and Levy kind of tries to build. He's got a couple submissions late, and I ultimately think he's going to win by decision. But I do think if he wins by finish, it'll be late. So that one could have some value. It's honestly the one I like the least out of this section, and it has the least value. But Pat Sabatini by submission at plus 420. So a lot of people are on Tucker Lutz this week, which surprised me. I get it though. The rationale seems to be a lot of people think Lutz is too big. Sabatini's not going to be able to take him down. Very understandable. If he does get him down, the sub prop is going to look very valuable. I think he's much better on the ground. He's got better transitions. And yeah, I mean, Tucker Lutz as an underdog shot, I guess I could see it. He is big, but I still like Pat Sabatini in this spot, and the sub prop has a lot of value. Not saying it's a lock, but it does have value. And then Terrence McKinney to win in round one, I put a little sprinkle on that at plus 320. Track record speaks for itself. I don't like the way Faris Diam handles pressure. And yeah, I'm curious to see what happens in round one. I definitely think Terrence McKinney's going to put it on him. Either he's going to take him down, ground and pound, look for the sub, or he's just going to get into the pocket and just, let the hands go. And then Cody Durden by submission at plus 500. Another one of those where it isn't a guarantee or anything, but a plus 500, there's definitely some value there. Origi Lang's sub defense, a little bit of a wild card. He's not the worst on the ground, but it's just kind of tough to get extended tape on him for the ground. And I think Durden will be the best grappler slash submission artist he's faced. Durden's not like a killer submission artist, but he has good submissions. And if Origi Lang is like a lot of Chinese fighters, which I'm not saying he definitely is, but the sub defense seems to be a work in progress for a lot of these guys. And at plus 500, I think Durden would be live to get that in the first or second round while he has all that cardio. But yeah, we'll see. I'm definitely going to take a sprinkle on that one too. But for my bets this week, like I said, got a little conservative with it, and I did post them, just the screenshots of my bet slip. So yeah, you can verify those in a second. I do want to get that third party tracker going. I would say by the first event in the new year, I'll be all signed up for that. Just haven't had time. So I'm just still doing this for now. But yeah, so I put one unit on Adrian Yanez money line plus Terrence McKinney money line. I got that one in earlier in the week, so I got a good price on Yanez. But The price on McKinney moved a little bit in the other direction, so you can probably get it about the same. I usually like to do 2 units on one super confident play, but for this week, the only play that I was super confident in, or the only outright, was Adrian Yanez, and even that, Davy Grant kind of scares me, so I didn't want to lay chalk on it. So I figured 1 unit with those two plus 167. Then I did do half a unit on Terrence McKinney by knockout at plus 200. I figured since I bet the money line in that parlay, I could roll the dice on the KO prop, and I was gonna put another 50 on McKinney money line, since it has the plus odds now. And if I do, I won't include it on the channel, but I'll talk about it in the recap probably. It kind of just depends on a thing or two on my end to see what I'm gonna do on the day of tomorrow. But yeah, Terrence McKinney by knockout plus 200. I couldn't pass that up. Pat Sabatini money line plus Sean Brady money line, a little Philly special parlay. That one's a little bit riskier. Definitely risky. I like both of those guys in those spots, and I figured I would just take a little stab at it. And then this one, I wasn't initially gonna do it. I didn't want to bet that fight, but since Natan Levy moved to plus odds, I figured I'd take half a unit on him. Uh, I did break that one down, so you can go check that out. And then I did put a little sprinkle on Terrence McKinney to win in round one. And then so for the parlays, only did two this week. One a little bit on the safer side, you could say. No parlays ever safe, you know. Parlays are just, for me, anything more than 2 legs, maybe 3 in some rare scenarios, but anything more than that is just kind of a sprinkle for me. I don't like to put like $50 on like a plus 1,000 parlay. They're just not as high percentage, but FanDuel gives you a risk free parlay of 4 legs or over. If it's over a certain amount of odds, and if you get one wrong, you get your money back up to 25. So I put 25 on Durden money line, but I put a star next to it because that one is kind of going to be like, I believe Durden, the bout order is earlier in the night. And if that doesn't hit, if Durden loses, I might sub Levy in there. Because there's just no definitive read in those fights. There's a couple coin toss fights this week, and Durden, I like his chances a little bit more, but at the same time, the value is a little bit less. But I did decide to go with him for the first leg of this parlay. But like I said, you can interchange that first money line play with Natan Levy or Pat Sabatini or whoever you feel you want to put in there. But for me, I just started off with Durden. McKinney inside the distance, again, just trying to play it a little bit safer. Terrence McKinney is the guy that I kind of laid chalk on this week, but I'm comfortable with that. I think the value's there. And if it doesn't work out, I didn't wager a whole lot, so we'll live. And then Yanez by KO, like I was saying, I like that. And then Brady moneyline, that brings us to plus 1,008. I put 25 on it in hopes that if we get one wrong, that one is just insured. And then this one is the long shot parlay, which I forgot to include the odds on, but I'll get them for you. It's down here. This one is a big long shot, but yeah, plus 6,013. $10 wins 611. Again, it's a long shot parlay for a reason. But Durden by sub, Sabatini by sub, that is going to be dicey. If both those guys get the sub, I'm probably just going to cash out if I'm being real. But then Yanez money line, Brady money line to round it out. Again, I'll probably just cash out at this point, but I always like to make these 4 legs and then just kind of go from there. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Wagered about 3.5 units, pushing 4 with the parlays. So yeah, not really looking to lay chalk on this card, but there's a couple spots that I like. So thanks for watching, guys. Sure, subscribe and take it easy.